realize they had that much value.
The Sabres?
Yeah.
Sabres don't have that much value.
No?
No. I don't know who told you that, but they don't have that value.
Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do?
Can't wait for that birthday party.
Wow. I don't know what's going on over here. Greg's having a stroke. You need us to call 911, Greg?
I can't wait for that birthday party.
Guess who's back again?
Guess who's coming? Bruno Mars at your birthday party is going to be phenomenal.
Will you be Fly Girl #1 in at least one song on stage?
If Bruno Mars, if I can pull off the Bruno Mars benefit concert when I turn 59, I don't know if you'll be able to take me off the stage.
I want to see him up there dancing the full choreographed routine in one song.
I will be up there. I will be anywhere that Bruno would allow this crazy Italian Irishman to go. Yeah, we saw
like it's a roast.
when I was in Vegas for the Super Bowl, Jen and I and Billy Dolan and Rachel went to the Bruno Mars concert on Friday night. Freaking unbelievable. I mean, he's so much fun. We were 15 rows center mic. I mean,
nice.
He just, the energy, he doesn't quite have that same energy, that same spunk he had when he first started. He's had some challenges in his life, over the last couple of years, but it's just his music it just gets you popping. It just gets you dancing. He's fun. I mean, he's the Michael Jackson of today.
Yeah.
He's the Michael, to me he is.
No,
I was a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah. I think he is. Anytime I hear a Michael Jackson song, you can't help but move along with the music.
It's like, I love music, but like when I listen to Bruno Mars, I get upbeat, I get pumped, right? You get the energy going. Yeah. I hear and I love Kane Brown, and I love, Luke Combs is great. I listen to their songs, I get freaking sad.
Yes.
It
a whole new album from Taylor Swift.
Like Luke Combs' song is like the girl's going. I'm like, okay, that hits really close to home. Are you kidding me? This song sucks.
That's the country formula.
Yeah. Oh, but in your case, she's going. Oh, here she comes again. You have the boomerang effect. It's the boomerang effect, right?
It's bi-weekly boomerang effect.
It's like calling you Keith Urban.
All right, so Greg has something that is the big
announcement.
Right? Big announcement.
I think it's big.
Yes, okay.
I think it's big.
All right. So, Danny, what do you think?
I think it's great.
Well, when we found out that he was going to have this big announcement, all of a sudden this news came out that the Bills might be offering up 25% stake in the team. They're exploring options. So I thought maybe Greg and Jim Kelly and a few people got together and said, hey, let's put in a bid and we might be able to own a part of the team. So I wonder if that's the big announcement.
Okay. All right.
That you're exploring the idea.
Stay there. All right. That's what let's see what Kevin thinks.
I've got two.
Oh, two?
Two. One is that he's relinquishing his loyalty to the Bills. He's going to go back and play quarterback for the Patriots and be our shortest starting quarterback since Doug Flutie.
Right.
Or that he's going to make some young college boy's dream come true in the NFL draft by drafting him to the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, he's going to announce a draft pick.
Yeah.
I
got a third or fourth round pick.
That is a great... I
can totally see when Greg gets up there, he gets the cart with the 199th pick, the Buffalo. Are you kidding me? No. Here's who we're taking.
All right, so I say mine is different, completely different. I said that Greg is going to MC the Autism Up Gala because they had asked me to do it. I had my dates confused, and I did say to them at lunch, you know who would be great at this? Greg Connors. That's what I said.
All right.
I said he'd be pretty good. So
is this on DraftKings right now? Can we put money on this?
I think we should.
Actually, there was another one that Kevin brought up that I thought was funny as well. Are you going to share that one?
Oh, the one that you're going to be a father for the third time?
Yeah.
Or even a grandfather, maybe?
That wouldn't be funny.
And then when I was talking to one of my partners about this, I was like, hey, I got a surprise. I have something I want to share with you guys. And he goes, are you getting engaged?
Well, it makes sense.
To my work.
People would think that's possible.
I mean, all those things are great, fun guesses.
They're guesses. None of them are
guesses.
Are any of them correct or close?
Well, let me start with Dan's first. So it's not the Pagulas and what they're doing right now is a lot of what Terry's looking to explore is because of cash flow issues for the stadium. I mean, he's actually, people don't always appreciate. He actually spent $1.4 billion of like cash where it was liquid. Like you have it and it's a liquid payment. It's not like you're posting something and then you're going to pay over time like you buy a house. He paid actual hard cash for that.
Is that done in like a suitcase or like
a
couple
silver
of
suitcases? You got your
Bricks
handcuffs
trucks.
around your wrists. Yeah. And but his wealth was worth, I think he was like $3 billion. So half of his entire wealth just went out the door.
Right.
Now the other half of his wealth essentially I don't know if this to be true or not, but is mostly probably in real estate or other fixed holdings within companies. So your wealth is not necessarily what you have in investments or cash. It's what the value of everything you own is. So he probably of his liquidity, probably took 80% of it to buy the damn team.
Yeah.
Well, he now has to pay liquid cash up to $750 million for the new stadium, plus any overages. Well, there's overages because it just the cost of materials and the labor has gone up.
Yeah.
And so, but he's got to start making payments.
Nothing is ever what they project.
No.
That's why they give you a range when you're building a house or whatever, because they don't know what problems they're going to run into.
And so where they're at now is that they started construction. He actually started making payments on these things
already.
And so, he's looking into the Nighthawks. He's looking to if there's anybody who's interested in or what the valuations would be with the Amerks, what the valuations would be with the Sabres, and what the valuation you could get for the Bills for 25%. And, what he's probably looking for is anywhere from a valuation with the Bills up to $4 billion, which would mean he'd get about $1 billion. Yeah. And that transaction is going to have to be cash because he needs the liquidity.
Yeah.
And with the NFL, you have to have a certain liquidity valuation in terms of your assets, what your worth is, and then what your liquidity is in order to be an owner. And so there's very few people that fit into that circle, very few. And Terry has a network and has a circle of guys that run in that are more than willing to jump into that NFL ownership. That it's a club of 32 people,
right?
Essentially. And so the Sabres are up. Some people are saying, he wants to dump the Sabres. Well, what he's looking to do is trying to figure out what is the best way for him to achieve what he wants to achieve, which is keep the Sabres in town, keep the Bills in town, but at the same time also not run himself into a freaking muck. Well, at the same time, look, and there's some part of this has to deal with estate planning, right? I mean, Terry's not a young guy, and Kim, unfortunately, isn't in the best of health. So if he were to pass away or something happened to Kim, in terms of that, his kids would get hit with a huge estate tax.
Oh, my God.
They probably couldn't keep the team.
27.5%.
So now all of a sudden, Western New York and the Bills are now subjected to who's going to come and buy this team.
Austin.
We're going to go through the same thing that we went through when Ralph Wilson died.
Right.
Well, so Terry's actually trying to be mindful of all these things to be able to manage it so that the team can have security in Buffalo. And so people are getting all worked up about what's the intention. I mean, that's kind of where he's at. Now, you talked about, the Nighthawks are for sale.
Yes.
Nice opportunity there. If somebody in Western New York wants to buy a lacrosse team and has good business opportunities.
Did you bought the Nighthawks?
I did not buy the Nighthawks.
Oh.
I did not buy the Nighthawks.
Nice.
The Amerks. He's looking to have somebody, if there's somebody who's a diehard hockey person,
Kevin,
who lives in Western New York or has strong Western New York roots and has the wherewithal to come in, be a minority owner, or if the price is right and maybe you can even get a majority share, but the price has got to be right. If not, he's going to maintain control because he wants to make the decisions because the Sabres are his dream.
Yeah.
People are like, he's going to sell the Sabres outright. I would be shocked if he sold the Sabres outright. That would say to me, there's something going on more that we don't know about that is what is very personal or private that he doesn't want me to know about.
Okay.
Because that's his dream. That's what he's always wanted. We talk about hobbies, get your mind off things. That's his hobby.
Yeah.
The Sabres are his hobby. So I don't think he would sell majority ownership in that. And if he did, that would concern me. And then with the Bills, he just wants to get some liquidity to pay this damn obligation he has without losing his shirt.
Could he make as much on the 25% as he paid for the Bills?
That's a possibility. I don't think he could get a valuation over $4 billion.
I stole Danny's thought.
If he was for him to get an evaluation at that level, that would have to be in the $6 billion range.
Yeah.
for him to get that because he paid 1.4 for it.
Right.
So I'm not sure if he could get that valuation, but I mean, I'm not in on those negotiations. I mean, I haven't been in on those negotiations or how they're looking at some of those valuations, and it all depends on some of the contracts they got coming up with the NFL as well.
Well, because if they're going by what teams have been paid for recently, wasn't Washington purchased for something like $8 billion, or in Broncos I think was like 4.65 or something like that. So it's not like the last price is like the price that all the teams rise to. It all depends on the stadium and everything else around it, the environment.
Yeah, and there's
And name recognition of the team.
How much money's coming in.
Right. And the one thing that Terry's I think is also trying to capitalize perhaps now is if the popularity of the Buffalo Bills is as good as it's ever been, even through the 90s. And the reason why I say that through the 90s is that when the Bills, I mean, Kevin, you guys are the youngest. When the Bills were popular in the 90s, they also had black eyes, though. They weren't like this America's team kind of personality.
No, they weren't.
Jim was a prick. Andre Reed was an ass. Thurman Thomas had a huge attitude, and Bruce Smith was viewed as, he was a mean guy. I mean, remember the Sports Illustrated cover with Bruce Smith?
Yes.
He had the red eyes, and
did.
it was very menacing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what America saw the Bills like. So there wasn't like this. I mean, Josh Allen is America's kid. He is the American dream kid. Truly. I mean, Tom Brady was because he came in, but Tom Brady had a bit of a silver spoon in his mouth. He goes to Michigan. He's got his parents.
He's from Northern California.
Yeah,
his father had season tickets to the Niners, which is not cheap even then. You got to have some cash.
And Josh, who's from Northern California, his dad didn't have season tickets. He took him to like one 49ers game, waited in line to get an autograph, got snuffed by it, and now make sure every kid under the age of 10 gets an autograph.
Was it Steve Young?
Yeah.
That's what. Because it couldn't be Montana because he was born in '96.
Yeah. So, and I think he's trying to perhaps see what's out there to help his family and help him get through where he's at right now. So I don't have a concern right now.
The other thing, too, in the 90s, people think that, the Bills sold out every game. No, there were a lot of blackouts.
Yeah.
I remember listening to those games. I can tell you each game that they didn't sell out because my father refused to take me after we went to a game in '87. It was the Bills and the Patriots. There was a bar fight. They used to sell, the actual beer in glass, and there was a beer fight in the aisle. My father goes, never again, Danny boy, never again. I'm 7 years old. I can barely see the game as it is. I'm 3 feet tall in a snowsuit.
So one of my strategies back in the day when they had the blackouts and we were advertising is whenever the Bills did not sell out, we would buy radio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the only way you could listen to it live was on the radio.
Yeah.
And that was our strategy. And it was great. I mean, it worked out well for us. But yeah, so the Bills' popularity was a team of success, but they weren't embraced as they had been in terms of the community. And the people that were football fans in the 90s were 75, 80% guys.
Yeah.
You go to Bills games now, it's 55-45.
It is. Well, the NFL overall, I think, has really done a great job. And I think they're, girl dads, right? They bring, you watch with dad, the girls watch with dad. But I wonder with, as you're talking about Josh Allen, we love an underdog in America. We love an underdog. And I'm not saying he's necessarily an underdog, but when you look back at that draft.
Oh, he's an underdog.
Yeah.
He's an underdog.
Because I watched that and I think of all the people that.
He didn't have a scholarship offer coming out of high school.
No.
People didn't.
He went to junior college. After junior college, he didn't have he had one scholarship offer. It was at Wyoming.
Well, actually, he had two. He had another one, I think, at Western Michigan or Eastern Michigan or something like that.
Was it?
Yeah, but still.
But he sent out there's something 500 D1 schools that play football. He sent out 500 emails. He got two. I thought he just got one. He got two. I mean, that's an underdog.
Right. So you come into the NFL, and now you're the guy that on ESPN they're including in all the conversations as, hey, he's the guy. When you talk to receivers coming into the draft, I'd love to play with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that guy. And so that's endearing. Where Jim Kelly went to the USFL because he didn't want to come to Buffalo.
Right.
That's not endearing. That's not, and that was that team.
Yeah, and then when he got here, he had issues.
Yes, he
I
did.
mean, Jim now is a great human being.
Yes.
He does a tremendous amount for the community. His heart and his family is Western New York. They are Buffalo. But when he first came here, he was a prick. And he would admit to you that he was not the nicest, best person that you would want to have around. Right. Josh comes in, he is the nicest and best person you want to have around. And when he first came in the training camp, when we first met him on the first day, he was the nicest, humble, most gracious kid you'd ever meet. And his parents were wonderful people. I mean, he came right in, and everybody in the community, it's like, it's like your next door neighbor, your brother, or your kid, or someone you would want to be like was Josh. And that's one of the reasons why I think the popularity of the Bills, and they've been successful, and Josh has overcome a lot. Now, this draft is where they're going to make a difference.
I agree with that, but you still haven't told us what you're doing. What is this big thing? Because, so clearly you're not. Are you making the announcement on ESPN? That's not.
Oh, yeah. So go to Kevin. So the interesting thing about that is, although I would love to do that.
You have to be dying.
Although I would love to do that. And as much as I actually lobbied for that, they did not select me to do that this year. Although it's not out of the question in the future.
Okay. All right.
I heard Tom Ferris actually was more in consideration than you. Is that true?
Yeah, but that's for the pick in Vegas for the Sabres.
The thing is that he and Terry have more in common than Terry and I have. Kim and I have a lot in common.
Yes.
And have been friends for a while, but Tom and Terry, because they're both diehard Sabres guys. I mean, they love the Sabres. I can't even talk Sabres. I don't even know anything about it, other than it's really cold when you go in the arena because there's a big slab of ice in the middle.
Yeah.
In the middle of the arena. So the person who got closest to the hole is Bill Moran.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So the announcement is.
Yeah, what are you doing?
The announcement is my dad passed away. The backstory: my dad passed away when I was 30. He was always very involved in the community. Everything he did, he always focused on bringing people together, having fun, and trying to support the community. So I was back in Hornell for an event. And I was there, and I started thinking about different things. And I always say how I want to do a benefit concert for Bruno Mars when I turn 59, and then pick a charity and have them receive the proceeds. And so I came back, and I was home on last Sunday, and I thought to myself, shit, why wait till I'm 59? Let's do it right now. So I don't have that scale yet. So I reached out to Tommy Burnett, and I said, hey, what do you got going on Saturday, May 18th? And you're at your place. I want to do a benefit concert for benefit one of the local charities. And he's like, we got a band picked. There's already booked. Trist is the name of the band. I guess they're from the West Side.
Yeah, West Side.
And
the Best Side.
The Best Side. And so we're going to do a benefit concert on Saturday, May 18th. And it's going to be Live Every Day Like It's Your Birthday, benefiting Autism Up.
Cool.
That is amazing.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
So then Noel and Sarah, there was a couple other charities that we work with. But
Yes.
Sarah is the best. Autism Up, it's Autism Awareness Month.
Yep.
Every time something comes up, Sarah's always like, yeah, anything we can do to help promote the cause, awareness, as well as help fund the programs they have. And so I sent her an email on Sunday and said, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. Would you be interested? Now, they had their gala the week before.
Yeah,
the gala is the 11th, the one that Bill has backed out on.
Yeah. That's Jordan's great. I swear they told me May 4th. So because I had something.
That's the Make-A-Wish Foundation gala that I've got to go to.
So May 4th, I was looking at.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes. I was going down and I was going to I'm starting this other project, the Radio Days. So I was trying to figure out a time to go down and interview somebody who I want as my first guest, and they agreed to do it. And we're still working that out. So I was either going to do it that weekend, or because I realized, and then they said, so I scratched it because I thought it was Autism Up. And they had asked me, they said, would you do it? I go, absolutely. I have lunch with them. If it wasn't for Damien's big fat mouth, I would have totally screwed the pooch in this, because I'm like, yeah, we had lunch, we did all this. And then Damien, we had it at Mulconry's. He walks over and we're talking, and they say, can you come? And he said, when is it? And they give the date, and I went, wait, what? That's the graduation for Jordan.
Yeah.
From college.
So in doing that, Sarah was, she was very supportive. And I gave her the backstory about my dad, and it kind of changed my whole perspective on life of why waste 364 other days? Enjoy the day, enjoy the opportunities, and share it with as many people as you can, because they might be having a bad day, and anything you can do for them, celebrate. And so essentially everybody's birthday is going to be on Saturday, May 18th. And the theme is going to be today's your birthday.
I love it.
And it's going to benefit Autism Up. So at the door, there'll be a $10 donation for entry. Great. And all the proceeds are going to go to Autism Up. We are designing a T-shirt that says today's your birthday, live every day like your birthday, benefiting Autism Up. And,
That's fantastic.
And then I'm gonna do this as an annual thing. And we're going to do a build-up. And this build-up will culminate when I turn 59. And we'll do, I don't know if it's gonna be Bruno, but
Might be Bruno.
We're gonna. I'm working it.
Yeah.
I've talked to my friends at Live Nation already.
Yes.
And we're gonna see what we can do. But
I love this.
It'll be great.
May
It'll be either Darien, for the 59th. The guys I've talked to, it'd either be at Darien or at Highmark, depending on who I can get.
So what about 60 then? Because the bar keeps being
So
raised.
the thing is that, my dad passed away at 59, and so I was like, shit, who knows if I'm going to get to 60? So 59, I'm going to freaking blow it out. And who cares? Because if I don't make it to 60, then I had a hell of a party. And then I said, shit, if I get to 60, I got to really freaking kill it because...
Could you bring Pearl Jam? Because they haven't come to Western New York in like over a decade.
Pearl Jam, yeah. I mean, we'll have to have...
They're not a party band. They're not a party
Yeah,
band. I know.
fun band.
I tell you what, man. Everybody in Western New York would show up for that one.
For me, I want to party and have fun and dance and like get
Taylor
the energy
Swift.
going.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. But
Some of her stuff is a little. The new album is a little sad. I listened to a lot of it. Yeah, well, because
Is this Saturday new Pearl Jam
Sirius
record?
had a whole channel, channel 13. So it was on, and I have Sirius on everything, like TV, my iPad, so it's always on.
Me too.
And it just is. It's the poets. What is it? Dead Poets Society or
Something like that. But now they're identifying all the guys for every
Yeah.
song.
Oh,
Have you seen this?
I know.
So I used to joke.
I think there was a song about Kevin on there.
Again, Bruno Mars guy. I would always say when I was training the attorneys, I always had music on in my office, and Bruno would come on, and I'd sing the songs, and they'd be like, "Jesus, come on, Greg." And I'd say, "Look, don't be the guy in the Bruno Mars song."
Yes.
Bruno always talks about
Flowers.
how he's lost. He was the guy outside looking in because he got dumped. And I was like, don't ever be the guy in the Bruno Mars song. I'm the fucking guy in the Bruno Mars song these days. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is All Me. You know the song All Me?
I can't think of anything else right now. I can't. Now I want to have the person in and play that song and go, Greg says this is how you have to live. This song, it was really his roadmap. It was his blueprint on how to treat you. What do you think?
And it would be, he failed. He did not deliver. He had good intentions, but he did not
Come
deliver.
on, the defense rest.
Yeah. But Taylor Swift's song, I gotta get off this stuff. Taylor Swift's song about All Me, Amy is the name of it.
Yes,
but it's-
Kim Kardashian.
And I was like, somebody sent that to me, and they said, you don't want to be Amy in this song.
No, you don't.
And I was like, I listened to it, and I'm like, who the fuck is Amy?
Yeah.
And then they said it was Kim Kardashian.
Well, in the title, she capitalizes the K and an I and an M.
Yeah.
In there. So, I mean, it is a subtle dig, but she's not wrong. I mean, they manipulated phone calls and released them and edited those things. They weren't things that Taylor said. And so, I mean, she was treated pretty shittily.
Yeah.
And so this is her opportunity to go, look who's on top, bitch.
Yeah, and by the way,
adjective of all time right there.
It's an adverb.
Shittily.
Shittily? Yes.
the point is,
No, it's not a word.
It's an
Can I
adverb.
just
Well,
make
no,
a
you
word?
made up an adverb.
I know. But
Treated was the verb,
Yes,
so the
the
adverb
verb
that
is
describes the verb
shittily.
is shittily.
Yeah, you were treated shittily. Isn't that
Which
true?
is south of Italy.
Wait, is that
right.
Kevin? Is that not a word?
As the judge of this table, I will allow it.
Okay, all right. Thank
Could you play it in a Scrabble?
Yes.
And so to bring the full circle back to the benefit for Autism Up is that Tommy, as an investor in Iron Smoke, and Tommy Burnett and Jen are absolutely fantastic over there.
Really?
They totally were in on it and said,
Good.
yeah, let's do it. And Trist has been great and is willing to participate.
Now-
so,
Nobody will treat you
there's
shittily
one
there.
more twist
Okay.
to the Trist.
Yes.
So I said to Sarah, Bill can even MC this one, I think.
Oh. So,
Except you're going to be out of town now, right?
No.
For the birthday
I
celebration?
will not.
Okay.
Be out of town.
Will you be there?
I will be there I have to see. I may have Jameson with me.
That's all right.
I don't know if I'm allowed to get him in. Now,
Yeah.
if not, I can make arrangements, certainly. But
Jameson, sit in the car and shut up.
Jameson's coming in for graduation, and then there's a lot of talk of me trying for him staying for 2 weeks, which is during all this time. Like, I haven't really talked about this, but depending on certain things, I'm trying to sort of bundle stuff. So if I went down, I have an interview I would do in New York, some interviews I would do in Rhinebeck, and then I would go to the Stone Show
Nice.
at Giant Stadium.
Oh,
So I'm trying to. So that's all Memorial
awesome.
Day weekend. That's
Gotcha.
that weekend. But if that doesn't work
Gee,
out
thanks for the invite.
for that week,
Man, Kevin, it's all about you.
I fucking knew. I knew. This
all
is why I
about you.
haven't talked about this because I knew over here. we'd
I'm
be
just
like,
busting your
"No,
balls
you're
because
not."
he had the same look.
I was like, fuck, I'd go to the Stones concert.
Oh, well, if you want to go, well, so I was looking at Cleveland is my other one, which is June 25th. No, June 15th in Cleveland. But I was trying to bundle things together. And then this Jameson thing kind of came up, and I haven't given an answer as to whether he'll stay for 2 weeks right after his brother graduates, or he would go home and I'd have him in June. So it's just everything's sort of up in the air. But I will be in town on May 18th, and I would love to be part of this in some way.
And I mean, if he needs something,
I think
if he needs something to do, you can always go and babysit Gigi and Ox and make sure that.
Oh,
And Luke.
he would.
And Luke, yeah, right. Keep an eye on Luke and his girlfriend.
So that's the only thing I would have. But I would love to be part of that. I think Autism Up, to me, I go, boy, if you have a vision, you stay focused on it, you can really build something. And they started out just trying to figure out what to do for their kids, having coffee.
Yeah, Sarah and Lisa are fantastic. And the great thing about Autism Up for me, and one of the reasons why I decided to work with them was, one, is that they're so flexible and willing to give
Yes.
back and be, to further their cause and the awareness. And, again, this being Autism Awareness Month, is that you growing up in the 70s and 80s, you would see people who acted different but looked like us.
Yes, they
and you
did.
didn't know why.
Right.
And then it was they're weird and this, that, and there was and they weren't, we weren't kind. I mean, you always try to be polite and respectful to everybody at all times, but, you're young and you're immature and you didn't understand it. Nobody talked about it.
Right.
And now I think as a society, we're much better than that, but we still don't really, those who don't have kids that are on the spectrum, it's hard to really understand what the parents and the siblings are going through. And what Autism Up does, and the services and the programs for not just the people who are within the program needs, but it's also the supported families that they provide and that network, which is amazing. And then they provide awareness to the community so we know and can learn who aren't affected by it directly.
Well, they do great things, Greg, to the point where they work with the local police to say, if you come upon somebody who may be acting this way, here's how to approach, and sensory issues, right? Loud noises, touching, that sort of thing. And Kevin's familiar with a lot of this stuff too. And I think that it's a great thing. Now, I have a friend who's the head of the psychology department at St. John Fisher. He wrote a book on integrating technology to help kids who are on the spectrum. And there was this one kid in the book that would take a shower for an hour, and his parents were losing their mind. So he loved to play video games, so they put the video game music on his phone, and he knew what to do at each stage that the music transitioned.
No
and
kidding.
he cut the shower time down to almost 20 minutes, right, from an hour.
Wow.
For the parents. And he says to me often, I believe that autism is evolution, that it's part of evolution, like we're evolving. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. It's one way of looking at it, but either way, it is people that are different. I mean, RIT is doing amazing things. They have a whole thing where a lot of the students that go there are probably on the spectrum, figuring out high level technological things. That they have a whole social class, I believe, at the RIT campus that is teaching people how to interact, and be better in traditional society.
In parents and siblings and caregivers of families that have children that are on the spectrum. And for me, it was like, okay, the gala and autism is not socioeconomic driven.
No, it is not.
There is no economic target that falls in. So there are people that don't have any resources that have children, and there are people that have a ton of resources that have that. And the gala is something where people that utilize the services, some people can't access it because they don't have the means.
Right.
And so one of the things for me was, okay, this is an event. It's $10. It's a donation. If you can't pay the donation, you don't pay the donation. You can still come in. But I wanted to give something where people who are caregivers, who have families, that they can just get out. Here we're going to give you a month's notice. Get a babysitter. Get somebody that can, spend with the kids. Come with your parents. Come with your friends. Come with the caregivers who help you and your family, and come and then just relax. And then that day is going to be your birthday. Your birthday may be in October, or maybe in February, maybe in May. But come and then just relax and enjoy the day like it's your birthday.
And have a peacemaker.
Yeah, I
love the peacemaker.
So I've talked to Tammy, who's one of the bartenders over to Iron Smoke, who's a good friend of Billy and Rachel Dolan's. And I was like, all right, we have to make up a specialty cocktail that is today's your birthday. And it's going to be today's your birthday cocktail. Now, she's great. She's been a bartender there for a while.
On the menu at Connor's.
I was like, I like
one fleck of Greg.
She
Parrott,
goes, okay. She's like, I like vodka. I drink tequila sometimes, depending on what it is, and I like Rosie's apple pie.
Yeah.
I go, so that's
that
whatever,
Rosie's apple pie is
whatever
good stuff, right, Kevin?
I'm
That's
on my
good
fifth
stuff.
bottle.
And what is it? The root beer float? What is it? What's the one that we drink?
It's
the root beer float that they have over at Iron Smoke.
I think it's the chocolate.
Oh, I love the chocolate.
It's great, right?
Peanut butter chocolate pie.
I think it's that and root beer.
And so I figured, and a lot of people haven't experienced Iron Smoke yet. And I was like, what a great way to get people from, whatever community you're in that are affected or want to support autism up. They can come over, they can experience Fairport, they can experience Iron Smoke, and everybody will have a good time.
I love the idea, too, that the money stays local.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a helping our community. Right? And they're doing something that I think other communities are reaching out to say, how's this working and how do we make it happen here? And I think it's fantastic. That is cool, Greg. That is a big announcement. I love that.
I wish.
I
was here to tell you about 25% of the bills.
When
I saw that come up, I was like, oh my God, that's really funny.
It depends on how many donations he gets at the
I sent Greg the tweet. I go, is this you?
All right, we'll take a moment. Let's get some thoughts on the draft, who the Bills should take. What else is going to be happening? I think there's a lot of things. We did think, I really was buying into Kevin's theory of you making the announcement for a later round pick. I loved it.
I did have a conversation earlier this spring about that.
Yeah.
Well, I said who's doing it, and then it led to.
Not you.
I was like, Kyle.
Some kid with cancer, not an
I was like,
asshole lawyer.
Kyle Brandt can do it. Why the frick can't I do it?
Right.
I'll bring it. I'll eat a freaking chicken
I've been
wing.
trying to get Kyle Brandt to come on the podcast. I have his cell phone number, but I've been texting. I haven't really got much response yet.
Let's call him.
Yeah, so one of the kids I went to college with, Trent Cooper, is a producer with NFL 360.
Okay.
And he produced the video, the show that Kyle did with the football team.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, the Iraqi football team.
Yeah.
And Coop and Kyle are good friends. Kyle met Billy Dolan and Rachel at the tailgate party when he was in town for the playoff game 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And have become friends. And then he found out that Coop and I are friends. So the whole Kyle Brandt thing in the NFL Network, I don't know if you know. So I talked to Ryan Leaf. I know you were going to break here, but I talked to Ryan Leaf last week in Hornell, who was one of the contributors on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network.
Yeah.
And he told me about a lot of changes that are happening there, which is very interesting. And we can talk about this when we come back.
All right, good. What is Ryan Leaf's connection to Hornell?
Not the Ryan Leaf.
Yeah, the Ryan Leaf. Yeah, that's who's on the NFL Network.
No, I know that.
We'll talk about it when we come back.
All right, I can't wait. Look at this, the greatest tease ever. It's all coming next.
And then he mugged Greg.
I got to tell you,